The views expressed and the opinions given by the individual host and their guests do not necessarily reflect those of Para-X, its affiliates, or its sponsors.
The following program contains opinions expressed by the Dead Zone. If you find this broadcast offensive, lighten up, candy ass.
What?
Oh my gosh.
It's a radio show.
Hell yeah! That's what I'm talking about.
Initialize sequence now.
We're now in the approach phase. Everything looking good. Manual good to go. Good. 5. Roger. Copy. 3. 2. 1. Okay.
Dead Zone WDZRDB Worldwide. Welcome to the Dead Zone Paranormal Radio Show.
Dead Zone Paranormal Radio Show, where metal and the paranormal collide. Well, tonight we have both. Joyce Issacson is back again with Volume 2 of her book, Wish You Were Here, a book based on the band Badfinger. Plus, she had a little help. You're going to like this. If you missed the last show, check out the archives. Now, I wouldn't call it metal, but if you're just a little too young to remember the group, who they are, who they were, we've posted a few songs on the Facebook page. So go check them out. It's pretty cool. I do remember those tunes, and I bet some of you will, and I bet you will say, oh yeah, I've heard that many, many times on the radio. Before we get to that, here's one from Michelle. It's a replay. We can't be together here in the studio because of the corona, you know that. Enjoy.
Paranormal news.
Hello, it's Michelle with Paranormal News. So I found on winemag.com, which is a website for wine enthusiasts, an article about the 5 most haunted bars in the world. Number 1 is Shaker's Cigar Bar in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. It says that it was built on a cemetery in 1894 and has had its fair share of paranormal experiences. And according to the bar's owner, the building was owned by Al Capone's crime syndicate in 1924. On the 2nd and 3rd floors, it served as a speakeasy and brothel. There was a woman named Molly Brennan who left home to work in the brothel and disappeared 3 years later. Some people believe that she never really left. The owner says that several psychics independently confirmed the spirit's name. Shortly after Shaker's launched in 1986, the owner came to know Elizabeth, who reportedly haunts the bathroom. Apparently, she was climbing for apples in 1835 in a stand of apple trees in the cemetery, which Shaker's is built upon. She fell and broke her neck. They claim that they met her in 1987 when 2 servers were able to coax her out of the bathroom. They made a circle with their arms. The owner put his hand in the middle of it and felt a blast of freezer. The servers explained that it was Elizabeth. Along with reported apparitions in mirrors, unexplained footsteps, and ghostly figures, Shaker's also used to be the go-to spot of infamous serial killer Jeffrey Dahmer. They say that he would order a gin and tonic, would not talk, no conversation. He would just drink his drink and stare or sneer at people. Next, we have the Mermaid Inn in Rye, England. The Mermaid Inn proudly states that it's hosted travelers for 600 years. Throughout the history, the inn has served everything from a hideout for Catholic priests during the Reformation period in the 1530s to a stage where William Shakespeare's theater troupe Lord Chamberlain's Men performed. But perhaps most notably, the inn was once the headquarters for the notorious Hawkhurst Gang. The gang, which according to NPR had about 600 members, was known for smuggling tea. If anyone was found to say things they shouldn't about the smugglers, they were sometimes nailed alive to their front doors. The inn's long history extends to the paranormal. Several guests said that they saw a thin apparition of a woman wearing white or gray sitting by the fireplace in room 1. Each of the guests reported that anything they left on the chair became soaking wet when she disappeared, even though there were no nearby windows or pipes. Arguably, one of the strangest stories in 1993, English actress Kiki Kendrick and her husband stayed at the inn's Elizabethan chamber. They awoke at 4 a.m. to the sound of heavy breathing and knives clashing together. Reportedly, they saw 2 ghostly figures fighting. When the couple told the inn's bartender, he showed them a newspaper article from 6 months earlier that described the same exact spectacle. Next we have John Kavanagh, or the Gravediggers, in Dublin, Ireland. In 1832, the first person was laid to rest in Glasnevin Cemetery, Ireland's first non-denominational graveyard. A year later, John Kavanagh was gifted a pub by his father-in-law, which shared a wall with the historic graveyard. According to the BBC, the pub soon became a popular spot for mourners on their way to or from funerals. But the bar started being called the Gravediggers a few decades back. My father Eugene took over the bar from my grandfather John in 1973, says Ciaran Kavanagh, one of the pub's owners. A young crowd started to come in and they noticed a few gravediggers drinking here, so they started calling it the Gravediggers, so it became a popular name. If workers couldn't wait till the end of their shift for a pint, they would simply knock on the graveyard's gate nearest to the pub. My dad, grandfather, or barman would bring their drink and pass it through the railings to the Gravediggers. Like the other bars on this list, the pub also reportedly has some ghostly run-ins. Some claim to have seen a man dressed in tweed finishing a pint of Guinness at the bar before fading away. My dad, later in life, had paranormal investigators come to the pub after hours to do what they do. Sometimes they made contact, including one medium who drew a picture that my dad said looked like my late grandfather. I haven't seen or heard anything, but when it's closed, there is a feeling or sense of family history. Featured in Lonely Planet's guidebook, Secret Europe, 50 Truly Unforgettable Experiences to Inspire Your Next Trip in 2014, Gravediggers is a perfect place to drop in for a pint and food. Bushwalker Brew Pub in Regina, Canada. After it received a liquor license in 1990, it opened its doors the next year. It's become a well-known spot to have a pint, enjoy daily specials, and possibly spot a ghost. Back in June 1912, Regina was hit by one of the country's worst ever recorded tornadoes. It killed 28 people and leveled buildings, which included one on a site where the pub now stands. According to CBC Canada, Grant Few, the pub's bar and marketing manager, says several psychic mediums have visited the pub and felt the presence of many ghosts, but there's one that the pub claims to know by name, James Strathdy. In 1914, he was hired to manage a warehouse built on the land where many people died in the tornado. In the 1930s, Strathdy was in a car accident. While he survived, he sustained head injuries, and according to the brew pub's website, he was never quite the same. His business partner soon tried to pressure him out of his position, and his wife wanted to move back to Scotland. He was said to have fallen into a deep depression and was found dead several months later. The official cause of death was suicide. The warehouse Strathdy once managed later became Bushwhacker, but many think he remained in the pub. One of the bar's managers believes she saw someone walk into Bushwhacker's room for private functions. She followed him to say that they couldn't go in there, but when she opened the door, no one was inside, and the only exit was sealed shut. Michael Gates, the brew pub's head brewer, experienced possibly the most dramatic ghostly encounter. One day while on a break, he says he was pushed from behind so forcefully that he nearly fell. Later, he says he found a red mark on his back where he felt that he had been pushed. The hero of Waterloo in Sydney, Australia. In 1815, the Duke of Wellington led his troops to victory over Napoleon in Waterloo, Belgium, to end the wars that raged for 23 years. The Duke had since been memorialized by the hero of Waterloo, a hotel, bar, and restaurant located in Sydney that served customers since 1843. But the bar is believed to have a dark history. In 1793, Thomas Kirkman, an Irishman who was tried and sent to Australia for likely being an Irish rebel, according to Waterloo's website. He took over the Waterloo in 1845. The pub was a popular spot for whaling ships and merchants, but some men that went into this pub were never seen again. It's believed that under Kirkman, many times sailors were drugged and awoke in chains in the bar's basement. They were then smuggled out through a tunnel from the bar to the harbor, where they most likely were sold into slavery. Today you can tour the bar cellar and see the chains and passageway. Kirkman also had a wife, Anne, who supposedly fell down the stairs in 1849. Many believe he pushed Anne, who broke her neck and died. She used to love to play the piano. It's said in the middle of the night, classical music will sometimes play from the bar's piano. When people investigate, no one is there, but the piano's lid has been left open. According to the site, they have reportedly also been instances where chairs have been found facing the fireplace, even though nobody has been inside since the previous evening. So if you've been to any of these bars, please email me, tell me about your experience at michelle.deadzone@gmail.com. Thanks for listening, and I hope you have a very happy Halloween.
The worms crawl in, the worms crawl out, they crawl all over your dirty snout, your chest. My name is David Walton. I am a vocal performer for What Are You Afraid Of? Horror and Paranormal show. And I have carried the burden of a terrible secret. I am actually what is offensively called a ghost. For years now I have concealed my ectoplasmic existence from my friends and family, in fear of a common prejudice against ghosts, or what we like to call the disembodied. I have existed frightened of being discovered, unable to do physical acts that the embodied take for granted, such as walking a squirrel, or drinking a glass of vitamin E milk fresh squeezed from a whale. I grew depressed and even considered acts of self-harm or reincarnation, which is suicide for the disembodied. Such movies as Ghostbusters and its sequels drove my feelings of disenfranchisement, and I began looking for help, only to encounter painful exorcisms in the houses I haunted. Then I met two good people, it says here, Fox and Phil, at What Are You Afraid Of? Horror and Paranormal. And they helped me take control of my own life. Now, it is my choice whether I wish to make phantom bounds in the night, appear at the foot of your bed in darkness, or make your walls bleed. If you are a disembodied person like I am, and you're living a lie, What Are You Afraid Of? Can help you too. They are on at 9 p.m. on Friday nights at Para-X Radio, leaving plenty of time for midnight haunting activities, and can be found on all major podcast services. Listen to their paranormal stories, interviews, humorous sketches and horror fiction to know that you are not alone. And if you are a member of the embodied, don't forget, you are only a single heart attack or tumour away from becoming one of us. This is David Walton. See you on the other side. Or as I call it, this side. And that is the end of a perfect day.
your source for everything paranormal. Para-X.
All right, David Walton, spooky dude. Coming up in just a little bit, we're going to have Joyce Issacson. But right now, this is Black Tractor, Just Like Bay Ray.
Never quite walk right a band right name with it rain at night. A bum that wouldn't look laugh, too proud and stupid to get some rest. A down man cleans fruits of labor, left them out on the kitchen table. That was it and you took your bow like a kid on a bus, you still know how. I know you got it in you, the little train that could. I know you got it in you, you know you really should. So tighten up your belt and put your Sunday best on. You're coming home tonight and you can believe the lights on. Just like Bay-Ray, it's always been me and you. Just like Bay-Ray, there's nothing left for us to do. Just like Bay-Ray, they'll never try and understand. Just like Bay-Ray, that you're my girl and I'm your man. It all ends. I'm figuring for the party, no sweetheart, I'll be there. With tears streaming down my cheeks and ribbons flowing in my hair. It wasn't so long ago you left me for your raised old man. But not even God himself can make you come like I can. I know you got it in you, the little train that could. I know you got it in you, you know you really should. So tighten up your belt and put your Sunday best on. You're coming home tonight and you can better leave the lights
Good evening. I am Sanitary, and you're listening to the Dead Zone.
You know, I thought we would pull back on the reins just a little bit because the show is about a 70s rock band, Badfinger. So let's ease back just a little and check this out. This is Get What You Came For by Hot Suede.
If you see me, keep on walking by. I won't say it's coming down. You don't know what I can do.
I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
Hey, what do you know? It's me, Scott Blake. I'm back. I've been missing. I've been lost. I don't know. Actually, I've been really busy. Just trying to make ends meet during these troubled times of ours. Yeah, life can be tough for special effects artists when no one's making anything. Any movies, any haunts, whatever. So, I'm managing. So, anyway, enough about me. So anyway, yeah, the COVID thing, there's no live concerts anywhere. There's nothing to do, really, unless you want to go out and just grab a disease while you're drinking a beer or whatever. But live streams are very popular now, right? So we're going to talk a little bit about some live streams. There's Knotfest weekly live streams. The Knotfest website will stream live performances from your favorite metal bands every Friday. So far, they've aired sets by Lamb of God and Megadeth, which both featured live chats with the members of the bands. So that's cool. So just every Friday, there you go. There's a live stream of somebody that you might be interested in. Napalm Records, they host several bands on their Napalm Sofa series, which takes place in the form of live streams on the Facebook page. And they give regular updates as they announce different performances every few days. So check that out. Every Sunday, the Rolling Stones, the Stones have announced their weekly Extra Licks series, which will broadcast every Sunday on YouTube at 3 p.m. Eastern. The band will stream past performances, including some rare footage. Pardon my cat as she just jumps up here and sticks her face in the microphone. Moving on, every Monday, Metallica. Every Monday night, Metallica will stream a previously recorded concert performance on their Facebook and YouTube channel. You stay up to date with each performance by following their social media accounts. Now, here's one. Excuse me. This is a buddy of mine, Jared James. Awesome guitarist. He is... He's a one of a kind. I met him on the road with John 5. Pardon me. Met him on the road with John 5. Hung out with him. He's super talented. The guy plays with everything but a pick. Fingers, teeth, probably eyelashes. I don't know. But he's nuts. He's a phenomenal guitar player. But anyway, every Tuesday, Jared James Nichols does Blues Power Hour and a new live series by Jared James Nichols. It will air every Tuesday at 2 p.m. Eastern on either Gibson or Epiphone's Instagrams. So check him out. He's not only really, really super down-to-earth nice guy, but he's a phenomenal guitar player, and he's just an animal. Every Wednesday, Lacuna Coil have announced a weekly video series dubbed On Tour with Lacuna Coil, which will play every Wednesday at 9 a.m. Eastern on their YouTube channel. Each video will feature clips from their 2019 Black Anime European Tour. Okay. The Who is every Saturday. It started August 8th. 1 p.m. Eastern. The Who will stream special performances on their YouTube channel, and they'll take place every week afterwards. So I assume they're still going on. Gosh, there's just so many live performances or live streams. There's 9 Inch Nails, Obituary. I can't think of any others. Excuse me. But there is a good list of live streams and performances on loudwire.com. In the Slipknot world, Clown has confirmed that the band has recently spent time working on new music, having last released We Are Not Your Kind in 2019. The update came in a video published by Slipknot where Clown and the mysterious new member dubbed NG for New Guy, or Tortilla Man, answered questions while signing bottles of their signature number 9 Iowa whiskey. Now, I believe, I'm not positive, but I was watching a video, and I think it was the same video, where they were talking about Corey Taylor's mask, which he was talking about Corey's masks, and he said, take Corey's mask, for example, and then he says, I don't remember the guy's name who made that, but blah, blah, blah. And I'm sitting here smacking my forehead thinking, what? How can you not know the guy's name? Tom Savini made Corey Taylor's mask that he wears, right, and it's like, what? You don't know his name? Whatever. Anyway, enough of the Slipknot news. Moving on, 25 years ago, Alice in Chains released their self-titled album. And, man, I gotta say back in the day, back in the day, 25 years ago, I didn't like Alice in Chains because I was in a hard rock band that had a very strong hair band type hard rock metal sound. And we were sticking to our guns, but the whole grunge sound was coming through and trying to wipe us out. And we were holding our, we kept our feet on the ground and we didn't move. But, I hated all those bands back then. But, I grew to like a few, and Alice in Chains now is one of my favorite bands to listen to. So, anyway, that's about all I can do right now as I bang things around on my desk, which I'm sure you can hear. I'm going to get back to work, and I hope you all have a great week, and maybe I'll be back next week. Later.
Are you ready? I'm saying, are you ready?
If all radio stations in town were palm trees, we'd be the one with the biggest coconuts.
Now, here are
The one, the only
Dead Zone.
Give me just one moment. Oh, wow, that's loud. Wow.
Hello.
Hello?
Hi, Lee.
Hey, it's Joyce?
Hey. No.
No? Okay. Is it Tommy? No.
Yeah, it's me.
Okay, well.
Can you hear me pretty well?
I can hear you really good now, yeah. It's coming okay. Well, hey, how's it been going? I know the first book sales went pretty well, right?
They went okay.
Okay.
Everything, I'm still waiting for the movie thing to happen.
Right.
It's in front of Paramount right now.
Okay.
It's on the deck, and they're waiting for funding, and it's going to take a while because of COVID.
Oh yeah. Well, even without COVID, if you're dealing with movie companies and production companies, it takes a long time. Yeah. Well, for those of you that don't know, it is a book. It's a let's say fantasy-based book on of the band Badfinger.
It's inspired by Badfinger, yes.
And the main character actually is, and your co-writer, or your ghost writer, I'll say,
yes,
is Tommy.
Yes.
The bass player from Badfinger.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, can you give us just a quick synopsis of what the first book started out about?
Sure. The first book is about a depressed rock star who's failing to restart his music career, and he wants to be in heaven with his bandmate, but he finds himself alone in paradise. This compels him to search for his mate.
Okay.
While in heaven, he meets new famous souls, and he meets all these other souls, and it's a race against time to connect with him before his friend returns to Earth. Basically, that's what it's about. So he meets people like Frankie Lyman, Janis Joplin, Jim Morrison, Jim Hatter, Mark Bolan. I mean, it's an array of different famous people.
The old school crew, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, back in the day, yeah. So, if I'm understanding right, he's coming back to Earth. He's being, oh my gosh, are you kidding me? Reincarnated, right?
He could, well, what it is, it's a race against time that his friend could be reincarnated.
Exactly, yes. Okay, yeah. And that's based on their spiritual beliefs or what?
On my spiritual beliefs?
On the book. I mean, it's
on
based,
book, yes.
Based on their...
Based on it, yes.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Okay, and the first book ends, we won't say how the first book ends. Where does, where does the second, chapter 2, volume 2, take up?
Well,
I don't give away anything, but yeah.
I won't give away anything in that way.
Yeah.
But, okay, so my rock star, Tom, is inspired by Tommy Evans. He's faced with new adventures, and he finds this, searching for his friend, who's inspired by Pete Ham, is not as simple as he had hoped.
Okay.
Being in heaven, Thomas meets new souls inspired by the likes of Kurt Cobain, Marilyn Monroe, Sharon Tate, even Richard Nixon.
Okay, yeah.
And encounters some surprises along the way.
Okay.
He discovers a strange and mysterious stone, and he's able to balance while on the lower levels of heaven.
Okay.
Then he's granted a divine appointment with Princess Lady Dina, inspired by Lady Diana.
Okay.
Where he commands him to complete a task. He is also confronted with an exact replica of his past. This is interesting. It's the same club he debuted with his own band, and it's now a new adventure for him. Okay. How will Thomas be able to resolve the past and find his bandmate? Well, ensuring he completes his assignment before it's too late.
Okay.
So that's what it's about.
Okay. Now, I know the first book you said was inspired by Tommy, of course.
Yes.
And the second one, I'm assuming, was as well. I mean, we're going to just go ahead and say it. Yeah. We're just going to go ahead and say it. You have a ghost writer, a literal ghost writer helping you, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit more? I know we talked about that the first time on the show, but can you tell me a little more about that? I mean, it's so intriguing. And I know we talked on the phone and something had happened like a couple of days ago, and we won't bring that up unless you want to. But
I'm going to bring it up. It was really interesting because I'm still working on my cover for my second book.
And they look fabulous, by the way. I mean, I don't understand why you're having so much trouble with this. I mean, they look awesome. I mean, granted, the dude on the cover isn't holding a bass. Okay, that's not Tommy. It's not a bass. He's not a bassist. But they look fantastic. You know what I mean?
Thank you very much.
They look really fantastic.
My friend, unfortunately, because I didn't go with his cover, he's a little upset with me. And
well, whatever.
That.
Yeah.
And I have to do what's best for the book.
Right.
I have to do what's best for me.
Right.
And I felt really bad. I'm taking care of him, believe it or not. I'm giving him some money, so to let him know that I do care about him and that his work did not go for nothing and everything. So I will be doing him. But I was so devastated from the phone call that I just feel like I didn't want to be here. I really didn't want to be here anymore. Okay. I was so devastated.
Well, let's hear about that, if we can.
And I've been into bed, and I wanted to get up, and I have my sleeping pills that I take at night, and I'm like thinking, I'm just going to take as many as I can, just whatever happens, happens.
Oh.
And he said to me, Joyce, he says, I'm not going to let you get up. I'm not going to let you do it. And he pinned me to the bed, totally.
Now, this was Tommy. And your husband was in the room or was not in the room?
He was not in the room at the time. No, he was not.
Okay.
I could not get up for anything. I tried to get up, and he wouldn't let me up. And I had to sleep in this position all night. He said, I'm not letting you up until morning. And you'll feel better in the morning. You'll
Okay.
feel much better.
Before or after you had taken the pills?
This was, I took one pill or two. I don't remember how many I took. But
Okay, yeah.
More than that. He didn't want me to take any more than that, and he told me, and that's when he pinned me to the bed. Totally pinned me to the bed.
So you're not taking any more. You're done.
I still take a sleeping pill at night, but I'm not taking like
he was saying to you, that's it, no more.
Yeah.
You're done. I'm not letting you take any more because it will kill you. And yes, it will.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Well, he saved me like 4 times in my life. Unbelievable. He did. Tommy saved me. He saved me the first time when I was taking medicine, and it was, he told me to go to the doctor, and I didn't want to believe him on this. And I went to the doctor, and they said that the medicine I was taking was killing me, and if I didn't come in any sooner, I would be dead. So, yeah. And another time he saved me. You know, it's the creator that put him in this position to help me. And I had bronchitis rhinitis.
Yeah.
And I went to the doctor, and Tommy happened to be at the doctor's office with me. And the doctor said they couldn't take my cholesterol pill with an antibiotic.
Yep.
And I'm like, well, what happened? He says, you'll die. I'm like, oh my gosh. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so basically what happened was when I came home, my brain was so fogged up that I forgot about not taking my antibiotic.
Yeah.
I mean, my cholesterol medicine.
Right.
And all of a sudden, Tommy took my hand away from the medicine and said, no, you can't touch this. He says, I'm going to have to stay here and watch you like a hawk.
Right. And by the way, thank you for saying fogged up instead of what we would have normally said. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it was just, I was just in such a daze,
Right.
you know, because of the illness that I had.
Right.
It was just really, I never had bronchitis rhinitis before together.
Right.
And Tom stayed for about a month with me, and he helped me, he sort of nursed me back to health in a way.
Right. Now, I think we might have touched on this before. I'm sure we did.
Mm-hmm.
What is the connection between you and Tommy, this bass player? What is it? Why is he drawn to you and vice versa?
I think the reason why he was drawn to me because I actually had talked to him on the spiritual phone in the very beginning. A friend of mine was looking up spirits.
Right.
And
once again, how did that come about? I mean, you had to have been a fan of Badfinger in the beginning of the band, right?
No, I wasn't.
You wasn't. Okay.
I wasn't.
Okay. Well, let's get into that. Okay. So
my God.
Yeah.
The only one I knew was Joey Mullen and Badfinger, and I didn't even know Tommy or Pete or Mike. I just knew Joey, and from 1987.
Right.
My husband started a radio station called Sound of Good Tunes.
Cool.
And he asked me to put away a CD, and I came across it, and it said Badfinger on it. I said, oh, there's Joey Mullen, and I didn't know the rest.
Yeah.
And I went downstairs and I put it on the CD player, and out came this wonderful song called Rock of All Ages. And I was listening to it, and I thought it was a Beatles song, you know. It sounded like,
yeah.
sounds like Paul McCartney.
They all did, yeah. Anyway.
I was really freaked out about it. I was telling my husband about it. And then I was reading the liner notes a little tiny bit about them, just a tad about them. I really didn't know anything about them.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden, I had this vision. Before I had the vision, I went into I said, can I join a Badfinger site? Because I knew Joey was in there. And he said, yeah, sure. My husband's been trying to get me a Badfinger page. I'm not a Badfinger, just a Facebook page since 2008.
Right.
Or 7.
Right.
And I ignored it until then. And I said, can I join a Led Zeppelin group? She said, yeah, go ahead. And I said, can I join the Badfinger group? So I went into the group, and I found everybody was hurting because this manager stole everything from them.
Yes. That happens all the time, though. I mean, that happens a lot. I mean,
oh, yes.
Yeah.
So I found that out. Recently, I found that out.
Yeah.
And I got so very depressed myself about it. And I said, well, what can I do to help them? So I decided to write. that they were always being in Tommy's heart, and they liked it. And before I knew it, I started to write a little bit more what they were doing in heaven. I had no idea. But by that time, I would say about a couple of weeks later, I had a vision. And this is what really sparked everything for me.
Okay.
I was sitting on the couch, and I had just meditated. I came out of my meditation, and all of a sudden, my character, Tommy Evans, came in through my window.
Right. You told me that. I remember that. Yes.
Yes. And he sat down, and I had read letters. I had made like a spread on the table of food, a spiritual table with food. And the first thing he asked me was, "What is this, the Thirsty Well?" And I said, "I've been there. I've never been there, but I've heard of it." He said, "Oh, I've been there quite a few times." And then he started eating and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden he said, "I was told not to come empty-handed." And he was saying this in a deliberate, probably an accent. I never heard him before. This was really bizarre.
Yeah.
And he came over and he put a spiritual necklace around my neck and says, "I'll never take it off again, ever again."
Okay.
And then he said, "I'll see you later." And he went right out the window.
Okay, yeah, I remember that from the last time we talked. Yeah.
Yes.
And when you say spiritual, no one can see that but you, and you have a wall of it. Yeah, you have a wall of gifts, necklaces, and that kind of thing from Tommy.
Yes, I do.
That only you can see.
Different things. I even have a turtle in a terrarium thing that Tommy gave me, and flowers and all kinds of things that he gave me. I mean,
now why do you think it was Tommy and no one else?
Okay, this is the reason why. Because I talked to a friend and I told him about my experience, and he told me he had to come over with this book.
Okay.
And I didn't see the cover, but he said page through the book, so I started paging through, and I came across the same picture, a picture of Tommy wearing the same necklace I had on.
Okay.
That is one thing.
That attracted him to you.
That's what he was attracted to me because he thought I was sincere and honest.
Okay.
That was one of the reasons. I found out another reason why he was attracted to me. I was an artist as well.
Right.
Besides a writer.
Right.
And I didn't know that he loved art and that he drew and he painted.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, it's really awesome.
It could have been me. I'm a bass player. I'm an artist. Whatever. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah.
Definitely. And Tommy seemed to like this about me. And we started seeing each other about once a week, Tuesdays, 2:00.
Okay.
And I got all these different memos and diaries of his visits from 2013 all the way to 2016.
Okay.
Unbelievable.
It is unbelievable. Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, you connected. And had no idea who it was. Right.
Yeah. And I couldn't believe it myself. I mean, I'm always waiting for the next confirmation all the time with him.
Right.
But the biggest confirmation to me was when, this was years later, I actually was going to be doing another interview, and the person asked me, "Have you ever had a dream with Tommy in it? How do you know it's really Tommy?"
Right.
I said, "I never had a dream before." And I'm like, "Oh my gosh, he could be right."
Yeah.
That night, I prayed to the Creator and said, "Look, is he in my life? Does he belong in my life? Please help me here." And that night, I had a dream.
Mm-hmm.
I had a dream, just like anything else. And all of a sudden, Tommy was in the dream. And he said to me, "You're the writer of my story." I said, "Yeah." He said, "I want you to be in my shoes and do everything I do. And I'll tell you what to do." And we went through the dream like this. The next morning, while the dream was ending, I woke up to the song Baby Blue on the radio.
Right.
And they never played Baby Blue on the radio.
Right, yeah.
And I asked my husband, I said, "What do you think?" He said, "I think that was for you.
Very
I think
cool.
he's really in your life."
Very cool.
Very cool.
Very cool, yes. When you do see him in your mind, or however you do see him,
I see him at the corner of my eye a lot of times. Sometimes I can see straight on, but mostly at the corner of my eye.
But my question was going to be, what age is he? Does he look like he looked back in the 70s, early 80s?
He looks like in the 70s.
In the 70s.
That's what he wants to look like. He said that souls can change what they like to look like in heaven.
Very cool. That is awesome.
That is very awesome. The other reason why I know he's in my life is because when we started writing the story, and he told me, this is going to be a very boring story if I don't meet people. I said, well, who do you want to meet? And he started telling me names.
Everyone. Right. Who wouldn't, right? I mean, you know.
Yeah.
Who wouldn't want to meet all these stars, all these icons of rock, right?
He never did. He met Cat Elliott, though, and Peter Sellers.
Oh, awesome. Yeah.
He met Evans. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's some people he has met in the story, and I think it's cool that it's in there.
Mm-hmm.
But he started telling me the kind of food he loved and also the colors that he loved. And I had no idea. And then all of a sudden I found out later on through friends that of his personality, I was right dead on his personality. And also those were the colors he liked and the food he liked.
Right.
And I was like bowled over by it.
Is that another reason why you're having such a hard time with your book cover? The colors?
He loves purple.
Exactly, yeah. That's what I mean. Yeah, I kind of got that from it, yeah.
I told Tommy, I said, Tommy, I like the purple around you, sort of like the glowing thing.
Right.
And I like the glowing thing around him, and the reason why is because it's the stone that he carries with him. Mm-hmm. It makes everything light up.
Okay, yeah, spiritual stone, yeah.
And it's a spiritual stone, and
right.
It helps him on his search.
Right.
And he loved that. I mean, I did not do anything he didn't want me to put in the book.
Okay.
I had to get permission from him to put things in, and we go over it together. The other thing,
just by yourself.
Is interesting.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay. So the other thing was that I love my brother very much, and he lives in Israel, and I haven't seen him for like, oh my gosh, 12 years at that time, and I was crying almost every day because I wanted to go visit him. And right. I didn't have the money at the time. Mm-hmm. And Tommy said to me, don't worry. He says, you're going to get there. He says, I want you to imagine in your mind where you're going to go there. I said, I can't. And he said, you have to. So I did. And we did this for a couple of weeks. And then I went to a wedding. And my dear daughter-in-law, she said to me, how would you like to go to Israel? And I said, what? She said, I'm going to make your dream come true. I'm like, what? And she said, yeah. I'm going to give you some money, and you go to Israel.
Things work out, right?
And it worked out.
How mysterious is that, right? Things do work out. That's amazing. Yeah. That is amazing.
And Tommy's still doing his thing. He's actually telling me when my husband's going to do something and what time he's going to stop doing it.
Is he there with you right now?
No, my husband's actually upstairs right now.
No. Is Tommy there with you right now?
Oh, yeah.
He is.
Oh, yeah.
Right now.
Yeah. He can't play and come and get it because you're actually on the phone with me.
Okay.
He does that with my girlfriend that knows him very well.
Right.
Very well. I have at least 3 friends that knew Tommy, and they all know that I'm in touch with him. They all know.
Well, it's good that he's with you right now, and I appreciate that. And like we talked about when we were back and forth. You guys don't know this, so it doesn't matter. But I told her to tell Tommy to ease up because I didn't realize what his intentions were in the beginning. And now I agree. So good for him for stopping you from doing what you were doing with those pills.
Yeah, he did. He stopped me. I was in that position all the way until the morning and stuff like that.
Right.
There's a place with my TV.
Yeah.
Upstairs, now it's the downstairs TV too, but the thing is he doesn't know how to turn off the downstairs, but upstairs he turns it off when my husband, when I'm panicking or something down here, he goes, I see him run up the stairs, and then all of a sudden my husband comes down the stairs and says, okay, what do you want? Tommy's playing with the TV again.
Yeah. Hey, yeah.
He does that.
Yeah, she's getting irritated. Yeah. Go check it out. Yeah. Make sure she's all right. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and he wants to make sure that my husband knows that I'm having a problem or something.
Right.
Because I'm a very hyper type of person. When things go wrong, I really panic. That's me.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, and Tommy knows it.
Well,
my
yeah.
husband too.
All the reason to have a ghost come in your life and scare the crap out of you, right? Okay, yeah.
He never scares me.
Yeah.
He never, ever.
Well, you know, I was kidding. I'm just kidding. You know what I mean. I was just kidding, yeah.
The only time he really got me was when I had bronchitis sinusitis, and he made me laugh so hard that my ribs were hurting me because they were bruised.
Right.
And I told him never to do that again. I told him. He's got a different personality than Tommy, and he's more relaxed, believe it or not. I mean, I've spent some time on the spiritual phone with Pete, and yes, there's a spiritual phone, believe it or not. And,
yeah, we talked about that the first time. Yeah, we know about that. Yeah.
Yeah, and there were times when my husband would come in and I forget about him being on the line, and all of a sudden I realized he was on the line. I'm like, oh my gosh, did he hang up? And all of a sudden people say, I'm still here. I'm like,
I wish there was some way. I know it's not possible, but I wish there was some way at one point we could get you back on here with that spiritual phone and at least get a hi guys, something like that. Anything. That would be so cool. Be great.
Now, you don't have a spirit box, do you? Or do you not?
Oh, we have all kinds of stuff. We are rural rural Indiana paranormal in reality.
Mm-hmm.
We just do this Dead Zone
when
show.
I was on Paranormal Soup, the first time, Tommy told me, he says, I'm going to make myself known. And I said, really? And he went ahead and he took down two of the lines on the Paranormal Soup.
Right.
And then when they put him in the spirit box, he actually talked.
We might try that. We might try that at some point, yes. That would be really cool. Yes, we are going to run out of time. I want you to tell everyone where they can find not only the first copy, but the brand new copy. Is that out yet, or you haven't done it yet? You haven't done it yet. Yeah.
It's going to be out sometime early December.
Yeah.
It's called Wish You Were Here.
Volume 2.
And called Heavenly Encounters.
Yes.
It's the continuation, and the first book is Wish You Were Here, a rock fantasy.
Right.
And Pennant Publications and Amazon.
Right.
And also the audiobook for the first story is coming out as well.
Awesome.
So not only you'll get to hear someone that sounds very much like Tommy.
Hey, this is Lee. If you missed tonight's show or any other show, you can always check them out in the archives on the ParaX Radio Network, or you can go to our website and click on any of your favorite apps.
This is the Dead Zone Paranormal Radio Show.
Thanks for listening.